Hello. We're at NAB with the co-founder of Amagi, Bhaskar Subramaniam, who has taken some time to tell us about this very forward-looking company. They've been coming to NAB for 4 years with a very deep background in advertising. They built Amagi from that background to serve the playout needs of the marketplace worldwide for broadcasters by creating a cloud-based environment in IP, and this precedes the transformation we're seeing to IP across the industry and the studios to create on the playout side a highly flexible approach to being able to hit all these distribution channels and do it efficiently at relatively lower costs. So I'll let you, Bhaskar, pick it up from there as far as how this works in the cloud, and then you're introducing a new element to that at this show, so tell us about that too. But just give us the background on what you're doing.
Okay, so just to give you context of Amagi itself, Amagi was founded in 2009. We started as a targeted advertising company for television and broadcasting. We run India's largest geo-targeted television ad network, about 4,000 locations where we run it. We run about 30 million plus ad seconds. We work with the largest of the advertisers, starting from Unilever, P&G, Coke to Pepsi, across the Indian subcontinent where we work on that. About 4 years back, we started expanding that particular business and looking at, given cloud and virtualization was happening. So we had built a lot of our technologies in the cloud, and we're trying to bring it out in the international markets. So one of the first things we did is really, when we started expanding, we found out that the whole play out and the content distribution, delivery, and the monetization part of what the broadcasters are doing was very laggard-ish. They were all sitting on real estates, in expensive real estates, with a lot of capital expenditure in terms of hardware-driven models. What Amagi's mission has been is to be able to make it all virtualized. Mm-hmm. What I mean by virtualized is software, make it abstract so that it can be pushed into the cloud and then be able to deliver it worldwide. And to give you kind of a summary of where we are from that particular journey, we have about close to 100 feeds, channels, which are actually working across 40 plus countries. And all of this is completely run on a cloud playout infrastructure that's available today.
Let's stop here to articulate what that cloud infrastructure is like, because just to make clear, you're actually taking the feeds out of post-production into your facilities, and you're performing all the switching and application of captions and subtitles and advertising and in the cloud, and then you're sending it out to the various channels over the internet in an adaptive bitrate kind of format, or into the cable head ends of the broadcast towers. So that's where you sit, and you've got all of those channels that you're supporting worldwide in these cloud facilities.
In these cloud facilities, completely. So we have a fairly flexible ingest model. You could give your offline content, or you can get your live content onto our systems. We suck everything into a cloud infrastructure, public cloud, where everything is controlled and managed. So technically, giving you an example of some of the channels that we work with sports content and sports channels. We downlink sports events worldwide. We get them all into Hong Kong, where we actually switch on a public cloud infrastructure. We do all the controls from Bangalore, and we deliver it to 15 countries. So what you do is basically you created a global mechanism of control instead of a single unified location where somebody has to really work on it.
And this is all happening with minimal latency.
Minimum latency, because it's sports content that we're really working with.
It's just amazing.
So that's where we are, right? And if you look at it from an event perspective, what we're doing is expanding this whole portfolio. We started with play out and monetization. And if you look at it, we're expanding into what we call Skylight. Skylight is our all-encompassing cloud-managed broadcast services. Essentially, the biggest learnings we're getting out of our own broadcasters is that yes, play out is great, monetization is great, but I have a lot more other issues which are people-driven, not automated, and sitting in real offices and hardware spent. And this could be quality checks, it could be identifying how do I do my word preparations done, how do I do my highlighting, how do I do my promo creations, all of that. What we're seeing is with thanks to video machine learning algorithms that are available today, a lot of these processes can be automated. So wherever there's human involvement, we're trying to really automate it completely. Be it monitoring, be it subtitle creations, a whole slew of things, we're kind of automating all of that processes. And obviously cloud is a great place to automate all of this, and using neural networks and video machine learning systems, which allows us to do that actually. Once we do that, then we're expanding this whole portfolio for our customers. So it's play out a bunch of services on top of it, and the monetization piece, we're kind of putting together as a full single package. That's what we're doing.
Now, of course, as this industry is evolving so quickly, there's so much focus on taking advantage of IP and dynamic advertising in distributions that rely on IP distribution and the ABR functionalities that include manifest manipulation.
True.
And so with your advertising experience, you're able to work in that. Talk to us a little bit about how that works from the cloud and from what your perspective.
Yeah, if you look at it, see, dynamic advertising on the server side, what we call a server-side stitched architecture, is I think the next best thing that can happen for advertising. We are bringing a television-like viewer experience on the internet video capabilities today. And the beauty of it is what Amagi has done is leveraged its existing competency in advertising and ad monetization systems that we already have done in India and expanding into the online video world as well. Two big advantages that Amagi has is Amagi uses something called a watermarking system, which is patented worldwide. It's called the Amagi watermark. What it allows us to do is to identify an advertising from a content in real live streams. So think about you're doing sports, you're getting a match, an NBA match happening. We can technically identify what's an ad, what's a content, and replace it in real time on the content and manipulate the M308 manifests which are going out on an ABR system and be able to manage all of that.
So you don't have to rely on the specific markers that are being used.
We don't need the markers.
And so it doesn't matter to you whether somebody's doing an SCTE one thing or
correct.
They're doing a traditional.
Exactly.
You basically are applying the watermarks to those points.
True.
And
which is an audio video watermark. That means there's no out-of-band markers needed. No human element involved completely. So the idea is to really automate these processes. And interestingly, if you look at platforms, live television platforms that are evolving worldwide, be it Sling TV or be it a DirecTV Now, be it a whole slow platform, YouTube starting off a live platform today. So as you see the whole live channels, which are already in cable, coming into the OTT platforms, so the online connected television platforms, it helps us a lot because now we are able to do what's called auto ad detection. We could go through all the channels using machine learning systems today. You can identify what's an ad, what's a content, and replace it in real time. So that's a powerful concept if you look at it from a TV channel or an operator perspective. They don't need to work with hundreds of channels to create queue triggers and get them all to comply with a particular protocol or a standard. They can pretty much be able to identify the ads themselves and then be able to replace it in real time and then have their whole monetization piece in place.
Now, to be able to do this at the point of connectivity, at the closest points of the edge, which is, say a cable operator's facilities, you need the cooperation of the MVPDs in this game.
It is true. Correct. In the MVPD world, yes. But in a online OTT world, everything is on the cloud. So that's it doesn't matter.
But at the same time, in that world, it gets a little hard to do it just from the point of origin.
Exactly.
The programmers in that situation need to establish relationships with other edge providers to be able to.
In the end of it, I think it's the same. On the online world, it's kind of translating exactly what happened in the real world. You had an MVPD physical cable head-ends, and you have origination points in the online cloud world in some sense. So there's a transformation that's happening, but the business models are largely at a nascent phase worldwide, where it's the whole conversations between the programmers and the distributors. Who's going to have what revenue? Who's going to monetize it?
Who's going to own the data?
Exactly. All of that's kind of up in the air right now, but that's the sort of conversations that are happening.
Yeah, and it's up in the air where there's a real dogfight in World War I terms going
exactly.
And it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. But it's vital that it does because it's in everybody's interest that they not fight over who owns what in the piece parts, but that they enable the revenue streams that come of being able to do this.
It's critical that everybody makes revenue.
Yeah. As you look at and let's talk about North America right now.
Right.
You have a customer base here.
True.
And I think you can name some customers, right?
True. So we work with customers like Scripps, Turner. We work with Bloomberg.
So how are they reacting to this dynamic advertising space? I know you can't name names and be specific, but in general, do you see the adoption moving forward?
It is. I think it's becoming a very mature market from an adoption perspective. North America is taking dynamic ad insertion in a big way. And a lot of the standards have not been evolved, but I think everybody's just going into it with their eyes open. Big time that's going to happen. And I think it's already starting to become one large part of the OTT video monetization initiatives everywhere across. And North America is leading in that particular effort in some sense, worldwide. I see that as a big advanced step that's happening.
Well, Bhaskar, this has been great to hear what you're doing and to know that these things can be done from the cloud, and that by automating so much, you're taking a lot of the pain and difficulty out of this.
Right.
It's just an opportunity for people to make money.
Exactly. True.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, it's great talking with you.
Thank you, Fred.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you very much. Thank you.